Hi everybody, and welcome to another eBay SuperSize sales of $100 or more. The sales in this video were posted on the Facebook group on the November dedicated $100 thread. So for possible inclusion in these monthly videos, make sure that you post those sales of $100 or more on that special dedicated thread because that's where I look for them. Okay, we're going to get started with Molly Davis. Paid $10 at an estate sale at the end of winter last year. Sold for $100 just before winter this year. A little long tail item, but worth the wait. These are new vintage Tyrolia by Head nylon downhill ski pants. Sold for $100, cost her $10. Then we have Janet Turnage, paid $9 for 9 Charles Tyrett shirts at a church sale, listed for $130 on November 4th, took an offer for $100 on November 15th. Profit after fees were $76.48. So you can see she lotted those shirts up, and I like her picture. It's very neat and organized. $9 investment resulted in $76.48 in profit. Savannah Boone paid $2 for this at a church thrift store while on vacation in Gulf Shores. I received a lot of lowball offers, but decided to wait for the right buyer to come along. It sold for full asking price in 5 months. Vintage Victoria's Secret size large, emerald green, long robe, and chemise set, gold label. Gorgeous set. $2 sold for $100. Kim Smith paid $8.99 at a Goodwill over the summer. Sold on best offer of $100. These are some hunting pants. $9, sold them for $100. And I like how she has them displayed there. Sometimes long items like jumpsuits, ski bibs, these types of items can be a little tricky to photograph, but she did a great job on that. Sharon Brower. I found this new in the box action figure for $4.74 on Senior Day at Goodwill in the display case below the registers. There were a lot of low offers and offers sent, but it sold for full price of $100 plus shipping after 10 weeks. This is a Halo action figure, new in the box. Jody Clark paid $2.66 at an estate sale for this new sealed Bucilla Nativity Tree skirt kit. Sold in 35 days for $109.95 plus $10 shipping. And this brand is always on my look for list because, as you can see, these can sell for a lot of money. $2.66 sold for $109.95. Very easy to ship, doesn't expire, and it's probably not going to be returned. Sharon Bramshire, vintage Hee-Haw denim overalls. Paid $20 at Goodwill. Sold on best offer of $110 within 2 weeks. Yes, who remembers the show Hee-Haw?
Where are you tonight? Why did you leave me here all alone? I searched the world over and I thought I'd found true love. You met another and you was gone.
These are Liberty Hee-Haw men's bib overalls, vintage 1970s. $20, sold for $110. And then our cover photo is from Jennifer Elliott's listing. Paid $6 for the pair at Goodwill. Sold for full price in a little less than a month. The quality was evident in the sea of Goodwill trinkets, which prompted me to look them up via Google Lens. The item is Lynn Chase Designs Jaguar salt and pepper shakers. $6, sold for $115. Next up is Nikki Hall. Bought this at a garage sale for $15. Sold in 2 months for $120 plus offer and shipping. Buyer left great feedback too. I'm new, as you can tell from my score, so this is my first over $100 sale ever. Congratulations, Nikki. This is a handheld GPS to use in the field. The brand is Garmin. It's an eTrex 30X handheld GPS unit. $15, sold for $120. Laura Simmons Keene, Awesome Little Green Men, paid $5, listed for $120 or best offer, and sold for full price of $120 within a day and a half. Awesome Little Green Men lot of 64 action figures. $5, sold for $120 for some little plastic things. Brian Rappaport, another lot from my buy of 78 rock and hair metal band cassette tapes at an estate sale a few weeks ago for 50 cents each. Sold this lot of 36 for best offer of $125. This is a lot of 36 hard rock cassette tapes. Who would ever have thought these would be valuable in the future? And speaking as someone who was a teenager in the 80s when all this was going on, I wore my cassette tapes out. I just played them over and over and over again, and then they would start squealing and squeaking, and sometimes they broke, and then you just went and bought another one. So I commend anyone who has cassette tapes that are not ruined, that are in sellable condition, because now they're definitely worth something. Tanya Gibson paid $15 as a part of a local online auction lot, listed for $149 for about 6 months. Took offer of $130 plus shipping. These are unsilvered paper cap Christmas ornaments, shiny Brite. That is a vintage brand to look for. So she paid $15 and sold this for $130 plus shipping. Becky Johnson. This was a fun surprise. So I have sworn off selling clothes unless it is super unique and preferably outerwear. Saw this at Goodwill and it screamed 1980s Rainbow Brite. But no. It is a woman who invented 70s type hoodies and sweatpants during COVID, and they got popular on TikTok. She was in Forbes magazine called Aviation Nation. This was one of the first ones, but I saw that a hot pink one is very popular. Every day I learn something new on accident. The item is rare Aviator Nation signature rainbow hoodie sweatshirt stripe, and it sold for $130.50. And Becky, I don't see what you paid for it, so if you're listening, let us know how much you paid. Okay, Sherry Ogden, my first sale for over $100 for the month. Bought this anniversary edition Care Bear, had no idea at the time, for $3 at a local thrift store. Comps were good, so I put it on auction and started it at $100, and it sold for $132.50. If it had the original tag, it would have been in the $250 range, but I'm pretty happy with my sale. This is a rare Care Bear Daydream Anniversary Special 2003. Sold for $132.50 and she paid $3. Mary Disney, another Cutco set, paid $21 at an estate auction and took about 2 months to sell. I accepted best offer of $134. This is a Cutco knife set, 6 brown Bakelite with wall mount holder. $21, sold for $134.05. Vicki Messman, bought at Salvation Army for $10 and it sold in 4 days. This is a Taboa leather coat with real fur trim. $134.96 and her investment was $10. Tim and Rachel Beachy picked up this at a garage sale for $10, sold in a month's time on best offer of $135 plus buyer paid shipping. This is a 3-piece restoration hardware king duvet and 2 pillowcases. $10, sold for $135. And here we have a candle. Well, 2 candles. Rebecca Metty Carter, purchased for $6.99 at Goodwill. Had priced as low as $99. Had some very low ball offers, decided to put on auction and sold for $142.50. Luminera Flameless Orange Glitter Pillar Candle Set, new in box. I wonder what's so special about them that they sell for so much. If anyone knows, comment below. Her investment, $6.99, sold for $142.50. Kathy Jordan Hermans. This is the second of the 2 Woof and Poof stockings I found at Goodwill for $4.50 each. Sold for full price in 1 month. Woof and Poof Christmas stocking with stars, bells, button, fleece, 2001, new with tag, sold for $149.95 and her investment was $4.50. All right, KC Vetterly, $9 on half price day, sold for $150 in about 20 minutes. Bose Wave Music System with the remote, sold for $149.95 and his investment was $9. And yes, he does pay for things. Not everything is free from the recycling center. So here is evidence of that. Okay, Judy Baker Scully, sold for $150 after 1 day. Probably paid about $10 for her at a thrift, and she had all the accessories. This is 1985 Hasbro Jim and the Holograms Rhea drums and sticks. So it's kind of like a Barbie that is a musician. $10, sold for $150. Roshina Ward thrifted this hat for $1, listed and had immediate views and watchers, sold within a couple of days for full price of $159.99. Brunello Cucinelli men's beige khaki hat. Now, if you look at that, it just looks so plain. Like, why would this be worth $159? Well, because of the brand. And if you look up that brand, you will see how expensive it is. But this just goes to show that things are hiding in plain sight all the time, and you really have to look at those labels because something like this can happen to anybody. Anita Brunette bought this last year after Christmas and sold within a few days of posting for $165 plus shipping. It was purchased from a local thrift store for $5. This is a rare 2011 Christopher Radko Christmas tree cookie jar. $5 sold for $165. Kathleen Bouchard found this in a huge free pile from an estate cleanout. This is a vintage Pendleton Beaver State Southwestern blanket. Free, and it sold for $170. Mary Walker bought from a local online auction for $22.06, which includes tax and auction fees. Did a bunch of research on the label. Got a bunch of semi-reasonable offers. Decided to be patient. Sold in 5 days for full price of $174.99 plus shipping. And I was planning to go back and take better pictures. This is a vintage Ralph Lauren country sweater with the American flag. And she bought it for $22 and sold it for $174.99. Next up is the famous and successful George Kelly. Bought this Danbury mint dog Christmas tree at a moving sale for $5. Accepted a best offer of $175. Sold overnight. So yes, there it is again, the Danbury mint Christmas tree with various dog breeds. This one is the German Shepherd. $5 into $175 in less than a day. Alicia Rouston. I got these antique roller skates at an estate sale in September for $5. After cleaning and sprucing them up with some Dr. Martens balm, I finally got around to listing them yesterday. Since the leather was worn and not in perfect condition, I listed them for $299.99. Got an offer of $175 and accepted it. Other sellers had better condition ones for $400 to $525. My hang-up was that I wasn't sure about the size. Moral of the story, like Suzanne says, list what you have and turn it into cash. Well, Alicia, you get a gold star for doing just that. These are vintage Betty Little styled by Hyde roller skates, capped toe leather boots. And she paid $5 and sold them for $175. And here's Louis Prizzy with what else but some Barbies. Paid $20 at an antique mall while I was on vacation. Sold for full asking after about 4 months. This is Barbie Fashionistas Swappin' Styles Glam Sporty 2-pack. $20. Sold for $189.95. Ken McNamara has something that is not pots and pans. Just messing with you, Ken, because I know your passion is pots and pans. $20. Found a bunch of these shirts at Goodwill one day, sorted and listed into lots by size. Took 4 months to sell. It looks like he took an offer of $150 on this lot of Orvis long sleeve shirts. He paid $20 for. Paula Brennan Waters picked up the rolling pin on the last day of an estate sale for half price, $5. Took about a month to sell at full price. This is the Pioneer Woman ceramic red and white gingham checked rolling pin. And yes, This is in the BOLO book right here. $5, and she sold it for $209 for a rolling pin. Okay, Carletta Holdman bought a box of Bucilla kits for $20 at an estate sale. This one sold in a couple of months for best offer of $225. And this is just the kit. It is not the finished product. It is Bucilla Nutcracker Trio Felt Stocking Kit. And it looks like she paid $20 for several. This one sold for $225. Ginger Lamp Brite. I bought these a little over a week ago at a garage sale for $2 per pair. There were 2 unopened packages and 2 new without the package. I listed the 2 unopened pairs for $129.99 each and the 2 pairs without package for $109.99 each. Got an offer of $200 for the 2 unopened packages last night, countered with $225 and they accepted. So $4 into a $225 sale. And this Ralph Lauren stuff is just really hot right now. The vintage stuff. I am seeing this a lot on the Money Making Mondays. This particular one is Ralph Lauren Colchester Red White Floral Set, 2 ruffled standard pillowcases. So this is just the pillowcases went for $225. So if you're not looking at linens, you are leaving money on the table, and they're so easy to ship. Graham Murray paid $15 6 months ago. When I bought it, I figured it wouldn't sell until the holidays. This is the Ronco Showtime Pro model rotisserie. Oh my gosh, Ronco. That just brings back memories of the record cleaner and the smokeless ashtray and all that crap they invented back in the 70s and 80s. Anyway, it sold for $229.99, $15 investment. Jomira Kukan. Christmas items started to sell more this past few days. This is the highest sale I have for this month as of today. Found this from the same estate sale where I got the American Girl and Bitty baby clothes and accessories. Bought it on the last day for 75% off the $200 price, which was $50. There were so much collectible items that nobody was even paying attention to it. Sold for the asking price of $289 plus shipping. This is a Hallmark 2005 Advent calendar. Paid $50, sold for $289. Here's a fun one. Nancy Sell, and yes, that is her last name. She came on the podcast and verified that. So, what a great name for a reseller. Okay, Nancy, I'm done picking on you. She said, this was a fun one, an original 1970s disco ball. I found it at a yard sale for $20 3 months ago and took an offer of $297. I was sorry to see it go because when the sun hit it just right, it put sparkles on the ceiling and walls of the room where I keep my inventory. So this is a vintage 1970s disco ball. $20, sold for $297. Wendy Kruger paid $3 at an annual Women's Club sale. Sold for $300 plus shipping in 2 weeks. Going back to Louisville. Best scarf sale to date. Oh, congratulations, Wendy. This is a Kentucky Derby Churchill Downs silk scarf. $3 and sold for $300. That is fantastic. Okay, we're going to move on to the mega sales of $350 or more. Lisa Middleton. My first SuperSize sale, first time shipping 1 order in 2 boxes, first time using Pirate Ship. Purchased this nativity set at an estate sale for $100 after listening to resellers talk about paying up for items to increase profits. Prior to this, I rarely pay over $5 to $10. Took a few months to sell for full asking price of $349 plus shipping. I was even thinking about where I could display it in my house. When it sold, I packed it into 2 boxes and then had to learn how to print 2 labels for one order. Suzanne's Premium Library to the rescue. Yes, I do have lots of shipping videos. After 2 short videos, I mastered 2 new skills, multiple box orders, and pirate ship. Thank you, Suzanne. Well, you are welcome, Lisa, and congratulations for putting that information into action. This is a vintage Holland mold nativity set with 21 pieces. And she said she paid $100 for it and sold it for $349. Congratulations, that is just an amazing sale. Savannah Boone, her highest sale to date. I found these curtain panels on the bottom shelf among the pillows at my local Goodwill. I've never seen silk drapery before, and I had a good feeling about it. When I looked at the comps on eBay, I couldn't put it in my cart fast enough. I paid only $6 for both panels. It sold in 8 months for full asking price. Restoration Hardware is now on my BOLO brand list. And mine too, Savannah, because that has been mentioned twice in this video. This is a set of 2 Restoration Hardware Thai silk draperies, and she sold them for $399.99. Her investment was $6. Note to self, look on the bottom. I see this all the time. Stuff gets shoved to the bottom or the back, and it could be sitting back there for weeks and nobody sees it. So if you're able, squat down, look on the bottom shelf, see what's pushed back there. Even better if you have a small child with you, get them to do it. I don't have one of those, so I have to squat down and look at it myself. But anyway, there can be goodies hiding back there, so you just have to look everywhere. Cora Allen, I saw this on the bottom shelf. Do you notice a trend here? Yes, bottom shelf. At Savers and walked past several times. Finally, one day I looked inside the box and discovered a very profitable Salad Master Salad Master 5 food processor, new and complete in the box. I had sold a used one not too long ago for $240 plus shipping. I paid $9.50 for each. This one sold in 2 to 3 weeks for full asking price plus shipping, and the full asking price was $339.99. Dawn McMaster paid $5 for this Santa who has been at my house for quite a while. In a spirited effort to clear out old inventory, I agreed to sell for $350. I'm happy he has found a new home. This is a Penny McAllister 2009 Santa with circus toys, an elephant, 23 inches. So at first glance it looks like a blow mold, but no, it's not. $5 sold for $350. Marissa Stinson, I love selling coats. This one sold on consignment. Canada Goose Women's Expedition Parka, and it's a size extra small. Sold for $399.99. Stacy Bryce, I have had this Twilight movie comforter in my closet for over a decade. I listed it at $750 about 6 months ago. Took a $400 offer this week. It pays to clean out the closets. Yes, it does. This is Modern Home brand Twilight Bella Swan Gray King Size Comforter and Shams. This item was sold at Target, but apparently it is highly sought after. So this was her item. So I guess we're counting that as zero cost. And it sold for $400. And last but definitely not least is Bevan Dunn, Queen of the Javelinas in Arizona. That's just my nickname for her because when we did our podcast, she was talking about the javelinas in her front yard, and I didn't even know what that was. So, anyway, she says, my largest sale to date and hardest to pack and ship. Was hoping to sell locally, so I added an extra $100 to the price on eBay. Sent a link to a friend who might have a buyer and put it on Craigslist. When I went to check if the video was showing in a separate browser, it said out of stock, so I thought I messed up the listing, but it had already sold in 20 minutes. Buyer was fulfilling a lifelong dream and left positive feedback today. I put off listing because of setup and takedown time with over 100 branches to assemble, but happy I dove in. It did take 4 hours to pack 2 boxes with one 4-foot long Frankenbox that used a whole roll of packing tape. I also got this free from a friend's house clean out, but I'm going to send them some funds. Happy holidays. This is a vintage 7.5-foot silver Christmas tree with a rotating base and 2 color wheels. And she sold this for $1,249. So even if that is a full day's work, let's say 8 hours, the hourly rate is $156 per hour if we count 8 hours of work. So that is not a bad return on this very large and cumbersome item. So congratulations, Bevan. I'm so glad that worked out for you. Okay, that is it for this edition of eBay SuperSize Sales. Keep posting those sales. Congratulations to everyone on your sales last month, and I will see you in the next video. Have a profitable, productive, and fun day on eBay. Bye, everybody.